What up, words? Charles Brown back again for another Talking Facts. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe. Man, I want to talk about a great movie I just watched yesterday, man. Tom Cruise has pretty much the movie of the year, produced something that is worth every dollar. Every second in the theater of potentially catching a life-threatening illness to watch it in a room full of people. Top Gun Maverick. Top Gun Maverick, right? Pete Mitchell is back. And I didn't know what to expect, but I just saw everyone saying it was great. You got the original stars back. Val Kilmer's back. Tom Cruise, Jennifer Connelly are all back. And let's just talk about it. It was a great movie. I was like, I haven't watched a movie in this long where from beginning to end, you're riveted, right? And I'll be falling asleep in movies. I'll be getting sleepy. And I think only like one part where he was talking a little extensively to Penny, who is Jennifer Connelly. They was having a conversation. I started to drift a little bit because I'll be tired, bro. I'll be doing too much. And I snapped out of that. One of the planes came or something, whatever. I probably was like drifting for about a minute. Other than that, this movie, from beginning to end, the entire the story, it builds you a story. If you've never even seen part one, it sets it up. It shows you everything from part one. Honestly, it basically any backstory, it flashes back and tells you. I don't barely remember part one. I was there. I saw it. I watched it. It was on HBO constantly. I barely remember anything about this movie. I just remember Goose dies, and pretty much he's singing at the piano in the bar, and he did a couple maneuvers in the plane, and I guess they won. That's all I remember. I don't remember too much about. As a matter of fact, it started coming on the other day. The day before I went to see the movie, it popped up in my Netflix feed, and it came on and started watching. I watched probably the first 5-10 minutes, not even 10 minutes. I don't think I got past the first. I think the credits were still going before I cut it off. But I am going to go back and watch part one. So I don't remember. I didn't walk in with all these nostalgic memories of this, that, and the third. I didn't remember anything pretty much. But they set it up beautifully. This guy starts out. There's spoilers in this. I guess I got to write spoilers in. I got to write spoilers in it. But he starts out where he's trying to break Mach 10. He's going to lose his funding. If they don't break Mach 10, he's really supposed to only go Mach 9 because for whatever miscellaneous program he's in, they have to, they're doing pretty much flight studies of whatever they're doing with these planes. And he has to show that this plane can break Mach 10. But they're only scheduled to do Mach 9, and then, which is breaking the sound barrier. And then I think they come back in 2 weeks or whatever because they're still doing research. He gets word that their funding is getting pulled right now. He can't even go up and fly. And if he goes up and fly, he's going to be stripped of his wings or what have you. It's going to be all kind of hell to pay, put it like that. So he's like, how much time I got? And he's like, well, you don't have any time. What's my guy's name? He's in Mad Stuff, but he plays the guy who, his subordinate, and it comes to find out that he wants the money for his own program. So he's cutting Tom Cruise's funding. Tom Cruise goes up in the aircraft. He hits Mach 10. Then he goes further. They're like warning him, don't. Long as if you hit Mach 10, we good. He hits it. Then, of course, true Tom Cruise fashion, Mach 10.1. He keeps going. Plane blows up. He ejects, if I'm not mistaken. And he's pulled into the office. They do a lot of ejecting in this movie. A lot of it's like no one dies in these planes because they just couldn't eject and they good. Like I think there probably was 6 or 7 ejections throughout this movie. I know Tom Cruise ejected twice. The son ejected. 3 of the other people ejected. It was a lot of eject. Like people just eject. Like it's just, oh, the plane's gonna blow up. Let me just eject. It's not. No one dies here. We all live. Hey. So, end of the day, right? He ejects out of the plane, and he sits down with this guy. This guy's like, "You would be done right now, but I got a curious call for some reason to send you back to." What's the name of this place that he has to go? Because he back to Top Gun, right? He has to go. It's Hamilton or some town, right? So he gets called back to Top Gun because they want him to train for this super secret mission to blow up this nuclear. They're building this facility, right? So skin of his teeth, he keeps his wings. He gets to go back to this thing. Gonna find out it's Val Kilmer, who used to be his rival, but they're really good friends now. His name is Iceman. And Iceman was there back when Tom Cruise actually did a dangerous maneuver back in the day, and his co-pilot, his wingman, died. His name was Goose. Goose's son is named Rooster. Goose's son is there, Miles Teller, who was in, I believe he was in the Hunger Games and a couple other movies. So he's all grown up, and he is Goose's son, and he hates Maverick, right? Because Maverick killed his dad, and Maverick pulled his papers that would have allowed him to go to, I believe it was, to go to pilot, to advance in the pilot program in the Navy, right? He pulled his papers, and it cost him mad years, but he doesn't know that Maverick only pulled his Navy papers because his mom, Rooster's mom, begged Maverick before she died, to not let him fly, to stop him at all costs from flying. Which I didn't like that. I didn't like that his mom was begging him to do something he was never going to be able to do. You can't stop this kid. And Goose would not try to stop his kid because Goose was at heart a pilot and he knew the risks. So I don't think it's fair for his mom to try to stop him. So where you want him working at a Walmart? Like, what do you want him to do? This is in his blood. It's clearly in his blood. But she tried to get Maverick to stop him from flying. He actually ends up going through with it anyway, but he loses mad time. So long story short, Iceman is saying Maverick's the best guy for the job. Maverick is coming to teach the best of the best. These are the best pilots training, the best students in the country, right? These are the best of the best. So only person can train them is Pete Maverick. Pete Maverick comes in, says, "What do you know about this book? I'm sure you know it inside and out." Throws it in the trash, which is the manual for the F-18, I believe. And he throws it in the trash. He's like, "Your enemy knows that book backwards and forwards. I'm going to teach you the stuff you don't know. I'm going to teach you about your instincts, blah, blah, how to fly this mission." This is a very dangerous mission. They got to fly through a canyon because they have to go under the radar. And if you even slightly go above the radar, they have these missiles that are to defend against planes and things like that. The name is eluding me. But on site, once you are detected over the radar, these missiles will launch, hit your plane, boom, that's the end of you, right? So they have to fly through these canyons, then they have to go up this edge of this mountain, and go down into this I don't know if it's a ravine or a ditch or a cavern or whatever you want to call it. So they just got to do all these crazy maneuvers. They got to come down, hit this target. It's on some Death Star. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're gonna just forgive that. It's on some like Death Star. Like, you got one shot to hit this thing, and it's weird. But they got to go up the mountain, come down, flip over, come down, hit the target. 2 planes got to hit the target. Then they got to go back up, all pulling all G's, 2,000 pounds of force. It's almost an impossible thing. So in this, long story short, Maverick is training these kids. No one can do it because this is impossible. Here comes John Hamm, which, by the way, I want to say something. John Hamm might be the best actor in the world. Because I'm going to tell you why. Because the simple fact, this guy can do anything. And when he walks into any situation, you believe that guy. This guy is the damn preacher in Kimmy Schmidt who's holding the girls hostage. The goofiest thing ever. Kimmy Schmidt, right? If you never watched that, go watch Kimmy Schmidt. John Hamm is the preacher who kidnaps all these women, and he's the goofiest person in history on this show. Then you go watch Mad Men, and he's the coolest guy you've ever seen in your entire life. And he can transform into anything. It's like he never turns down any role. Every time I look up, he's in every show, every movie. I don't know how this guy finds the time to do this stuff. I don't know if he leaves one shoot, walks into another shoot. I don't know. But when he gets there, he turns it on. And in this, you believe that he's this a-hole that doesn't like, it's not that he doesn't like Maverick, it's that he wants the mission done at all costs and he doesn't expect these kids to come back alive. So his name is Admiral Bo Cyclone, right? Everybody got a nickname. His is Cyclone. And the reason this is so good because what they did is they put forces in the way of Maverick. Maverick is always in danger of losing his wings. And Iceman is the only thing that really keeps him in play. We wouldn't even have Maverick if Iceman, who was an admiral himself, wasn't so fond of him. He didn't believe in him so much. The only reason he's there training these kids is because Iceman, who is Val Kilmer, who, by the way, has overcome vocal cord cancer in real life. And he says he's 4 years free of it. 4 years with he's a survivor, right? And he did a documentary on his life, which this guy had an amazing like try to watch the documentary. I tried to watch it on Amazon and it's very good until he starts talking, and it's very difficult for me to actually listen to him talk because it's really hard. It's really kind of sad, right? But it's a great documentary. I recommend you watching it. Val Kilmer's a great actor. I didn't know he was still alive, but he's in this movie, and they used an AI program. They used a bunch of his old clips from his old movies, and they put it in the AI computer, and they made his voice sound. What you hear in this movie is artificial intelligence recreating his voice for the movie. So they did some amazing work with his voice. So you can't understand. You wouldn't be able to really understand because he has a voice box in real life. So his voice is not as clear. So Tom Cruise fought to have him in this movie. He was like, I refuse to do this movie without Val Kilmer. And without Val Kilmer, it's a trash movie. You need that. His presence is from beginning to end. Even after he dies, spoiler alert, he dies in the movie. And at that point, this is where the real triumph or begins for our character. Maverick has now no one in his corner, and he has to figure he's getting kicked off the project by John Hamm, who is Cyclone, who doesn't care about any of that. With the time is running short, he doesn't care if these kids come back or not. He just wants this thing blown up and his mission complete. He can move on with his life and go do whatever with his wife, right? So end of the day, Maverick is now alone. His one supporter, who was his most powerful ally, passes away, and he's getting kicked off of the program. So now he decides, after talking to Penny, she's like, the old Maverick would never just lay down. He's like, it's finished, it's over. She's like, you would never just lay down. He decides, I don't know how he gets into that plane, and he gets into the plane, and which we don't care. He gets into the plane, and they're like, who's on the course? He running the course. He runs the whole course 2 minutes and a half. His wingman is helping the guy. He ain't had nobody in the plane with him, but the black guy throughout the whole movie who rocks with him, Hondo, right? He helps him. He navigates with him. So he navigates this course in 2 minutes, and I'm oversimplifying. He navigates this course, and what makes it so good, right, is you can tell it's not easy. He's like, like it's like really, really, really tough for him to navigate this course. And he's Maverick. This guy is the GOAT. He's sitting there struggling with the joint. So that's what makes it so believable, because you know Tom Cruise is flying this plane for real too. He's doing his own stunts, right? He finishes the course, blows up the target. Everybody's jumping up and down. We love Maverick now, right? So the guy's like, I have enough to court-martial you. Cyclone, he's like, I can court-martial you right now, send you to jail. Or I can let you be the team leader of this ragtag group of men that we've assembled in one lady. He makes him the team leader, which everybody in the movie saw that comes. Like, we can't have no movie with Tom Cruise just sitting in the damn office talking about turn left, turn right. So he becomes a team leader. He's going to pick who he's going to take with him. Now, I love what he did, but it's negligent. He picks Goose's son, who's clearly not ready, right? He picks Rooster, and he picks... So Rooster is set up through the whole movie as to be not ready. He's driving, he's flying the course slow, and he's behind on time, and he's scared to take chances. So he's not ready. He's clearly not ready. He also picks Phoenix, and I think Phoenix was with... Phoenix was either with Payback or Bob. I don't remember exactly who Phoenix was with. I think she might have been with Bob, who didn't have a cool nickname. His name was just Bob. Comic Relief. So these four are going to fly this super dangerous mission to this miscellaneous nuclear site that they're building, because they only got a few weeks to get this done. They're going to fly this thing. He's taking Goose's son Rooster with him, which, in my opinion, he wouldn't have, in real life, he would have been seriously remiss to take this kid with him anyway. But he wanted to. It was a personal decision. He wanted to make up with the kid and give the kid a chance to prove himself, which the kid immediately fumbles it because he's in the course and he can't keep up. They're like, "Come on, Rooster, you're gonna get killed." Because the other caveat is, if you don't run the course fast enough, the enemy will have planes in the air and they will scramble and they will get to you before you get home, because they have better planes. Now, for whatever reason, they're using these F-18s instead of the new planes. I don't know. Maybe they fly better or they maneuver better, but apparently the planes that the enemy got is far superior. They're Generation 5, I believe he kept saying over and over. And these planes are super superior and they're super, super duper dope, right? And you don't want to get caught by these in the late night. So, end of the day, Goose's son, Rooster, is not ready. So he ends up flying, speeds up, and he becomes whatever, blah, blah, blah. But as they get to the end of the course it's not a course anymore, it's real life at this point. To blow up the thing, they blow up, boom, boom, but they got two bogeys in the air that were already in the air because they blew up the landing strip of the other planes. But whatever planes are already in the air are going to respond as soon as they blow up. So they blew up the landing strip. Planes responded. Boom, they on them. They can't slow down, because if they slow down, they're going to get caught by these planes. If they don't go do what they got to do, the mission going to fail. Boom, they blow up the Death Star, right? We call them the Death Star because it's funny. And they start to leave, but here we go. Rooster, unequipped, unable to do what he has to do, about to get killed, right? Because he don't belong there. But I digress. He's about to get killed. Guess who comes save him? Maverick. He puts the flares out there, saves his life, but he gets shot down. So he's on the ground. Everybody's like, "Oh, he's weeping Willow. He's alive. He's on the ground. He's dead." But he's not dead. He's alive. Helicopter come from the enemy, and they never specify what this enemy. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. I don't even know what country that they was even in. I don't know who these people were. I didn't see any markings on these planes. I don't know what the enemy even spoke as a language. They never said one word. They put up sign language, and they did thumbs up, thumbs down to the other plane. I don't know what country this was. Maybe I fell asleep. I don't know. But this miscellaneous country has helicopters. And when Tom Cruise is on the ground after he ejected, He's on the ground. He had the helicopter came, started shooting at him, and right when they cornered him, they was about to hit him with the gun turrets. Boom, the plane blows up. Guess who's back? Rooster comes back, saves his life, but now guess what? The bogey's on him. He gets shot down. Tom Cruise runs, finds him. Why'd you do that, Rose? You're so stupid, Rose. He hits him with the whole Jack and Rose, right? So now he's like, we can get out of here. Implausible thing ever, but it was amazing because he goes and it's like, how did they get back home? He goes to the enemy's bunkers, takes one of their old planes, gets in that plane, starts it up. This is amazing. You got to watch this. And then he somehow pulls it up, takes it, boom, they're in the air. 2 more bogeys come confront him. What's up? What's up? They're like, yo, let's get out of here, but we can't outrun them. So then Rooster gives them a pep talk. You know what you do? Let's do what you do. Boom. He starts doing this little dip, roll, flip, bounce, boom. They still on him though. I think he gets one gets hit. He hits one, he makes one hit the other one. That's 1 bogey now. Boom. Smoke in the air. So he's gone. Boom. The guy's following him, right? I believe right when he's trying to, they run out of flares, they run out of bullets, everything. He's going straight up, starts apologizing to Goose, because he's about to get his son killed, and he did it twice. Boom, blows up. Guess who it is? The jerk. And I never talked about the jerk. What's his name? Hangman. Hangman was set up through the whole movie to be the arrogant jerk. But let's be honest, in real life, Hangman's going. Like, let's be 100%. Hangman's going. You're not choosing Rooster over Hangman. Hangman's going. Let's go. Oh, you don't like because he drives too fast? Well, you supposed to drive fast. What are you talking about? Let's go. He's not a team player with him. Let's go. Ain't none of the rest of these guys can do what he do. So Hangman jumped in the cockpit. We never saw this. Hangman blows up the enemy before they shoot Maverick and Rooster. Saves the day. Hangman's like, I'm nice. This is what I do. Boom. So then Hangman, they don't know that. Well, they know after that upon lifting off Tom Cruise, he hit the wheel of his fighter, knocked it off. He has no front wheel. So now the last thing they got to do is try to land on this air carrier with no front wheel. Of course, it's Tom Cruise. They land, boom, scrapes, boom. Everybody's celebrating. We happy. Game over, right? We did it. We blew up the Death Star and all this. So now, last thing is, he's got to reconnect with his girl, who, by the way, Jennifer Connelly looks beautiful in it. She looks amazing. Like, I watch her on Snowpiercer, and they got her with no makeup. It's different. But then this one, they did her up. She looked good. Penny Benjamin. Long story short, he goes back to see her. She's gone. She went on some trip or something. I don't know. Then he's like, damn, she ain't even here. So then he goes and start working on trying to fix his plane. I don't know when the young girl, her daughter pops up. Whatever. Mom is back in the story. It's a beautiful day. Now, great movie. It's a stand up and clap type of movie. You do not want to mess this up with some type of, I hope they don't try to do it again. But this movie is fantastic. This is the best movie I've seen in a very long time. As a matter of fact, this might be the best movie I've seen since Endgame. And right on this very channel, if you scroll down, I did a review for Endgame. Is it this channel or Dale's channel? I think the other channel. That might be on the Audio Liquor channel. Where I did a review for Endgame. And I said, Endgame, and we could fight. But I say Endgame is the best movie of all time. I don't care what you say, right? And I watch great movies. My movie taste is impeccable. I watch really good movies, right? All the British stuff, all the good stuff, Game of Thrones and all this, the Lord of the Rings, everything. I got a very extensive movie. But before this movie, the best movie I had seen was Avengers Endgame. And I feel like this is right there with that, right? So without further ado, man, I give this movie the highest praise. This clearly is an A+ movie, right? And it broke all kind of box office records. I think the 3-day was 156 million. The the greatest Memorial Day opening ever. It beat Pirates of the Caribbean, Johnny Depp's movie, which was 15 years ago. 15 years ago or 11, I don't know. But end of the day, great movie. I learned a lot of stuff about aerial combat. I love the smoke in the air. Smoke in the air when they launch a missile. I love that. That terminology. It just pumped the whole movie up. I highly recommend you go see this. I'm not gonna talk your head off anymore. Let me know what you think in the comments. And like I said, there were spoilers in it, and I hope I didn't ruin it for you. But yeah, I just was very pleased with this movie. Tom Cruise, you did it again. You the GOAT. And on that note, I'm gonna catch you on that flip side. CLBMG.com. Peace.
CLB.